everybody, I'm Miss Cooksey. Today we're going to be talking about solving quadratic equations with the quadratic formula. So, in our last video, we talked about how we can factor quadratic equations to solve for the solutions or the x-intercepts. This is going to be the formula we use when you cannot factor an equation. So if the equation cannot be factored, or it's really hard to factor, it has an a value, it's got really big, terrible numbers, it's got a bunch of decimals, you can always use the quadratic formula. This is the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. There's a lot of fun songs and ways to remember this. I am not going to sing them for you right now, but I will link below to some awesome songs that you can use to help you remember this. So let's look at this first quadratic, 2x squared minus 7x minus 30. Well, the same rule applies as we used in our last video about factoring. We need to start by setting this equal to 0. So we're going to do that by adding 3 to both sides, and that gives us 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. Next, I'm going to identify a, b, and c, because there's a lot I'm going to have to substitute into this equation. A is 2, b is negative 7, and c is 3. Now that I know that, I'm going to substitute it into my formula, and I am going to evaluate. So x equals negative b, negative 7 becomes positive 7, plus or minus the square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3, all over 2 times 2. All I did was take a, b, and c and substitute them into this equation. Now I'm going to start evaluating. I'm always going to start by simplifying what's under the square root first. So order of operations tells me exponents. So negative 7 squared is 49. And I'm going to go ahead and do this multiplication, 4 times 2 times 3, which is 24. 49 minus 24 is 25. So we have 7 plus or minus the square root of 25 divided by 4. Well, this piece, let's see, we can go ahead and simplify this, 7 plus or minus the square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. Now, I have this weird plus or minus. What do I do there? This means we're actually going to make two expressions. The first one is going to be 7 plus 5 divided by 4. And the second is going to be 7 minus 5 divided by 4. When we evaluate 7 plus 5 divided by 4, we get 12 divided by 4, or 3. When we evaluate 7 minus 5 divided by 4, we're going to get 0.5. These are our two solutions. Similar to when we talked about factoring, we had two x-intercepts. Here we also have two x-intercepts. That is why we have to add and subtract. Let's go ahead and look at our next one. 4x squared equals 9x minus 3. We need to start by making this equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 9x and add 3 to both sides of my equal sign, giving me 4x squared minus 9x plus 3 equals 0. I'm going to identify a, b, and c, so a equals 4, b equals negative 9, and c equals 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plug in those values into the quadratic formula. So negative 9 is positive 9, times negative 9 squared minus 4 times 3 divided by 2 times 4. I'm going to simplify what's under the square root first. Negative 9 squared is positive 81. 4 times 3 is 48. And 81 minus 48 is 33. The square root of 33 is not a nice easy number like 5, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. Here, I'm going to plug into my calculator. I'm going to substitute in 9 plus the square root of 33 divided by 8, and I am going to get 7.4. Then I'm going to find 9 minus the square root of 33 divided by 8, and I'm going to get 1.6. These are our two solutions. Those are also going to be rounded numbers. The decimal probably continues. 1 to 2 decimal places is absolutely fine. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you check below to see the fun songs that will help you remember this really big quadratic formula. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time.